actually drove President Joe Biden from the race, the first time that's ever happened. So debates can have a huge effect. As far as we know, this is the only one that's scheduled so far. It's entirely possible both sides will see it in their interest to do another debate, but we don't know that for sure. This might be the only chance we get. It seems like Donald Trump won a tactical victory by making sure that the mics were muted in reaction. But that's just one small part of it. Kamala Harris is a tactile enough debater that she can probably find other ways around it.
Welcome to The Debrief, where we talk with the Washington Examiner's top journalists about the headlines they're covering and where the story's going next. I'm Sarah Bedford, and I'm here with magazine editor David Mark. And David, the polls are tightening. We're now 8 weeks away from Election Day, and both campaigns are really investing a lot of time and resources into Pennsylvania. Why is Pennsylvania so important?
Yeah, Pennsylvania is basically the electoral linchpin for both candidates' strategies of winning the White House. Former President Donald Trump, if he can win Pennsylvania and hold on to Georgia and the other states that he won previously, he can win the White House. If Vice President Kamala Harris, the Democratic nominee, can win Pennsylvania, along with Wisconsin and Michigan and the other states that she previously won. In fact, she can lose a couple more and still win. And the most important thing about Pennsylvania is the polls show it neck and neck. Virtually every poll shows both of them at some version of 47%, 48%. One poll might show one up or down a little bit, but it is the key to winning. They basically can't win without it.
Kamala Harris seems to have received no meaningful convention bounce. And the excitement factor seems to have waned a little bit as the media narrative has turned to like, will she or won't she do an interview?
Yeah.
Do you think that we've passed the high water mark for Kamala? I mean, where does she go from here?
It's entirely possible. Pennsylvania specifically is still a tough state for her. Any Democratic presidential nominee is going to do really well in the Philadelphia area, out west in Pittsburgh where there are fewer people, a couple other dots around it, the state, while Republicans are going to run up the score in the more rural and outer suburban areas. And it basically makes an even score. The question is whether Kamala Harris can pick up any new voters there. Of course, you could say the same thing about Donald Trump. Is he going to get any new voters in Philadelphia or Pittsburgh or places like that? So, yeah, she may be past her prime, but same thing with Donald Trump for that matter.
Does the fact that it's so closely tied and momentum for both candidates seems to have stalled, and at different points this year they both seem to have had momentum.
Yeah.
Does that make the stakes for the debate on Tuesday that much higher for both of them?
Yeah, I think it does. We've already seen the effect that a debate can have. It actually drove President Joe Biden from the race, the first time that's ever happened. So debates can have a huge effect. As far as we know, this is the only one that's scheduled so far. It's entirely possible both sides will see it in their interest to do another debate, but we don't know that for sure. This might be the only chance we get. It seems like Donald Trump won a tactical victory by making sure that the mics were muted in reaction. But that's just one small part of it. Kamala Harris is a tactile enough debater that she can probably find other ways around it. But yeah, a lot of people are going to be watching that.
I'm curious, just your opinion, why you think ABC News seem to have held firm on what seems to be Trump's side. That's kind of an unexpected move by a network that Trump has attacked viciously over and over again. Why do you think it panned out that way?
I think they had set the rules. They didn't particularly want to change it. I view it also as a bit of a weakness in the Kamala Harris campaign, and this is the third time by my count they've let stories sort of build out there that were not favorable to them. They're getting pulled back just real quickly. When Vice President Kamala Harris was considering who to pick for a running mate, there was a lot of speculation about Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro. That ended up not happening, and she got some criticism over that. Then in the run-up to the final night of the convention, there were all these rumors that Beyonce was going to perform.
The special guest.
Yes, and that didn't end up happening. And then it seems like they got out ahead of their skis a little bit on this, making such a big deal about this microphone negotiations. And then they didn't end up winning it, where I think if they had just not made a big deal of it, it would have
ended at the same place. Right.
So I think the Harris campaign has some issues with expectation management. None of these are killer per se, but not really helpful either.
Well, David, thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you.
You can get more reporting from David and the rest of the political team at washingtonexaminer.com.